Hello everyone. Welcome to Anime Dreams. You've just stepped into a space where imagination takes the lead and familiar worlds take unexpected turns. Today, we're diving into a fanfic concept that blends chaos, emotion, and unlikely choices in a way you've never seen before. What if Harley Quinn joined Batman because of Naruko? A story where loyalties shift, destinies collide, and one decision could reshape Gotham forever. Before we begin, a quick disclaimer. This channel is created purely for entertainment and discussion purposes. I do not own any of the anime footage used in my videos. All rights and credits belong to their respective creators and copyright holders. Now, with that said, let's get into the story. Obito stood amid the swirling remnants of a massive chakra storm, his expression heavy with emotion as he tried to complete a powerful illusion that could affect the entire world. Around him, his chakra was unstable, and he struggled to hold his thoughts together. "I won't give up. This vision of peace must be completed," he said quietly, though his voice trembled. Sasuke narrowed his eyes, sensing the imbalance in the energy around Obito. Rather than attacking, he raised his hands and focused calmly. "Flame release, gentle ember purification," he said softly. A stream of small, glowing flame-like sparks drifted forward, not to harm, but to disrupt the unstable chakra pattern surrounding Obito. The energy shimmered like fading stars rather than striking forcefully. Tobirama appeared nearby in a flash of light, his expression sharp but focused on protection rather than conflict. With a careful motion, he redirected unstable chakra currents away from everyone, stabilizing the space so no one would be harmed. "This level of power needs balance, not destruction," Tobirama muttered, guiding the energy like flowing water. Minato turned toward his daughter, Naruko, his expression calm but urgent. "Naruko, Obito is trying to complete a massive illusion technique. We need to stop it safely before it spreads," he said gently. Naruko nodded, determination shining in her eyes. She had grown strong, not through destruction, but through understanding and control of chakra. "Yeah, Dad. I'll help," she replied. "Let's bring things back into balance." Minato smiled warmly. "We'll do it together. Wind and light working as one." Naruko entered her sage mode, her chakra glowing softly like a bright breeze. Minato prepared a spiraling seal of energy in his hand, glowing with warm red light shaped from his refined chakra control. "Let's guide it, not fight it," Minato said. Naruko nodded. Right. Together, they released a combined wave of gentle, spiraling energy, not to attack, but to reshape and stabilize the overwhelming illusion chakra. "Sealing harmony, morning light spiral," they said in unison. The energy expanded outward like a peaceful sunrise wind, wrapping around the unstable illusion and gently dispersing it into harmless light particles that faded into the sky. Obito paused, the pressure around him easing. His breathing steadied as the burden he carried began to lift. The vision he had clung to so tightly no longer felt like something he needed to force. I just wanted a peaceful world," he said quietly, his voice calmer now. Sasuke lowered his hands. "Peace can't be created by forcing dreams onto others. It has to be built together." Obito slowly nodded, understanding dawning in his expression. In another part of the battlefield, Madara observed the shift in energy with narrowed eyes. Instead of continuing destruction, he adjusted his stance, watching Hashirama carefully. "It seems the flow of things is changing," Madara said thoughtfully. Hashirama responded calmly, forming a large protective wooden barrier that rose like a living fortress, not to trap or attack, but to ensure everyone's safety as the energies settled. "Yes," Hashirama replied. "And it's better when it moves toward peace." Madara gave a faint, contemplative smile. "Perhaps. We will see where this new path leads." Mental link. Minato connected his thoughts gently through the shared mental link. "Naruko, even though Obito's situation has stabilized, we still need to make sure Madara doesn't attempt anything dangerous with the remaining energy," he said. Naruko nodded within the mental connection. "I understand. But I think force alone won't solve this. We need sealing techniques. Something that protects everyone without hurting anyone. Minato's expression softened with pride. Exactly. And I know just the thing. He continued warmly, it's an Uzumaki sealing method passed down from your grandmother Mito. It focuses on guiding and containing energy safely. Naruko's eyes widened slightly. Grandmother Mito. Mom told me about her. Yes, Minato said. And now I'll teach it to you. Naruko smiled with determination. Then I'll learn it. I want to help protect everyone the right way. Minato smiled back. That's my daughter. Together, their shared resolve strengthened, not through conflict, but through understanding, unity, and the will to protect the world in harmony. Mental link end. Naruko rushed forward with steady determination, guided by a shimmering spacetime technique that carried her across the battlefield in an instant. In a blink, she reappeared before the immense ten-tailed beast, her presence calm yet radiant, like dawn breaking after a long night. She held up a special sealing kunai, a tool of ancient Uzumaki wisdom. Around her, glowing patterns began to unfold in the air, beautiful, intricate designs shaped like spirals and stars. It's time to bring peace to this chaos, Naruko said softly but firmly. Uzumaki sealing technique, Black Tengu Guardian diagram. She placed her hand gently against the vast chakra presence of the 10 tails. Instead of destruction, a brilliant wave of sealing light spread outward like a protective sky closing over the world. The enormous energy of the beast did not resist, it slowly transformed into flowing light, drawn into Naruko's seal like a river returning to the ocean. The entire battlefield fell silent. Even those who had been observing from afar, veteran shinobi, legendary figures, and powerful leaders, paused in awe. It was not a moment of fear, but of wonder, as if the world itself was witnessing something rare and meaningful. When the process completed, Naruko stood calmly at the center of a soft glowing seal pattern. Her form had changed in a mysterious, graceful way, her presence now carried a deeper, ancient harmony, as though she had become one with the great protective spirit she had sealed. Her hair shimmered with a pale, luminous glow, and her eyes reflected layered circles of light, like ripples on a peaceful pond. A subtle third eye of chakra light appeared on her forehead, symbolizing heightened awareness and balance. Around her floated 9 glowing orbs of energy, circling gently like guiding stars. Her outfit also transformed into a refined ceremonial robe of white and dark accents, marked with elegant Uzumaki symbols that pulsed softly with life energy. She carried a twin-ended staff, one side shaped like a ring and the other like a crescent, symbolizing harmony between opposing forces. From afar, Sakura and Kakashi watched in stunned silence. Sakura whispered, "Naruko. She really did it." Kakashi's eye softened with pride. "She's grown beyond what anyone expected." Hiruzen observed quietly, his expression filled with emotion. "Naruko." Minato smiled warmly, his voice full of pride. "That's my daughter. She's protecting everyone in her own way." Even those once locked in conflict felt the tension dissolve. Madara, watching the scene unfold, paused in genuine surprise rather than anger. "I see," he said quietly. "So this is the kind of power that brings balance instead of destruction." Hashirama nodded thoughtfully beside him. "It's not about winning. It's about harmony." Sasuke looked toward Naruko, his expression steady but reflective. "She's changed the path entirely." Naruko raised her hand gently, and a soft light spread across the field like a calming breeze. "This world doesn't need more conflict," she said. "It needs understanding." The glowing energy around her responded like it was listening, settling into a peaceful rhythm. Even the air itself felt lighter, as though the world had taken a deep breath and finally exhaled. And in that moment, Naruko stood not as a weapon of war, but as a guardian of balance, bringing hope to everyone who witnessed her light. Naruko grins at Madara. "Yes, let's continue, Madara," she said. With focused determination, Naruko leapt onto a massive chakra-powered construct, surrounding it with the warm, flowing energy of Kurama's chakra mode. In her thoughts, she spoke gently to Kurama's spirit, grateful for the strength they shared even in difficult moments. The construct responded by forming a glowing energy blade, while Madara shaped a matching weapon of his own chakra. The two powerful figures faced each other as the air around them shimmered with rising energy. When their techniques met, a powerful wave of wind and light spread outward, stirring dust across the battlefield like training ground. It was not destructive, but overwhelming in presence, causing everyone nearby to step back in awe. Amoy shielded his eyes from the swirling dust and said, "I can't believe Naruko-san is doing so well. I'm actually glad I'm not part of that demonstration." He watched with admiration as she moved with incredible focus. Sai smiled softly, holding his arm in a steadying gesture. "You've really grown, Naruko. I'm proud to be your friend. Now keep going, help bring everything to balance." Naruko and Madara continued their exchange, not as enemies, but as powerful rivals testing each other's skill in a grand display of chakra mastery. Naruko spun gracefully, guiding her energy to flow behind the towering chakra construct, causing its defenses to flicker and shift. When the construct attempted to reinforce itself, Naruko responded by shaping Kurama's chakra into flowing streams of energy that wrapped around and stabilized the surroundings instead of harming anything. The construct's energy barrier shimmered and cracked into fading light patterns, signaling that its power was being carefully neutralized rather than destroyed. With one final coordinated movement, Naruko directed a burst of chakra into a balancing strike that dissolved the tension in the air completely, bringing the exchange to a calm end. The storm of energy settled, leaving only quiet skies and a sense of accomplishment behind. In a world where legends and science blended like colors in a sunrise, Naruko Uzumaki stood at the center of a turning moment in history. She was known across realms not for destruction, but for her remarkable ability to bring balance, understanding, and calm wherever she went. In a vast field of shifting light and energy, enormous guardian constructs, like towering armor spirits and advanced mechanical guardians, faced one another in a controlled trial meant to test strength and harmony. Naruko observed carefully, her presence steady and focused. A great armored spirit pushed forward, while a massive machine responded with equal force. Instead of chaos, the ground responded like ripples in water, as if the world itself was acknowledging their balanced clash. The sky shimmered with glowing patterns as both forces tested each other's resolve in a breathtaking display. Then, Naruko stepped forward. With a calm breath, she guided the energy around her. A radiant wave of gentle sealing light spread outward, not to harm, but to harmonize. The powerful energies of both sides slowed, then softened, as if they were being reminded of peace. The great constructs gradually dimmed and came to rest, their power safely contained. The trial concluded without destruction. A quiet stillness followed. From the distance, voices of relief and joy rose. A warm smile appeared on Minato's face as he said proudly, "She did it. She truly brought balance." Ino wiped away happy tears. "Well done, Naruko." Shikamaru nodded thoughtfully. "Troublesome situations always end better when she's here." Though everyone celebrated, Naruko's gaze shifted to someone she had always shared a complicated bond with, Sasuke Uchiha. He stood apart, thoughtful and quiet. The two approached one another, the world around them calm now. Sasuke spoke first, his tone steady. "What will you do now, Naruko?" Naruko looked at him kindly. "I want a world where no one has to keep fighting to be understood." Sasuke replied, "And I still walk my own path. But I understand you more than before." There was no anger between them now, only the weight of shared history and the possibility of peace. Naruko gently placed her hand forward, not as a challenge, but as a gesture of closure. A soft sealing light briefly appeared, not to trap or harm, but to settle old conflicts into rest. Sasuke felt his energy steady and calm, as if heavy burdens had been eased. "You're free to choose your future," Naruko said softly. "Just choose carefully." Sasuke gave a slight nod. "I will." Their paths remained different, but no longer hostile. Later, Naruko stood before a glowing portal between worlds. Kakashi and Minato were there with her, their expressions both proud and bittersweet. "Are you really leaving?" Kakashi asked gently. Naruko nodded. "I want to find a place where I can continue helping others. And live in peace." Minato smiled warmly. "We are proud of you, Naruko. Always." Kakashi added, "Take care of yourself." With a final look back, Naruko stepped into the light and vanished into a new world. 5 years passed. In a distant city filled with towering buildings and deep shadows, Naruko, now a young woman, walked quietly through an alley in Gotham City. She had become known there as a mysterious ally of justice, someone who worked from the shadows to protect others. Above her, a silent figure descended from the sky. Batman landed nearby with calm precision. "Naruko," he said. "We need to talk." She nodded. "I'm listening." They moved together across the city rooftops, eventually standing high above the glowing lights of Gotham. Batman's voice remained steady. "Lois Lane is expecting a child." Naruko listened carefully, understanding the concern behind his words. She knew the world's protectors carried heavy responsibilities, even when they didn't show it. "So you're worried about Superman?" she asked gently. "Yes," Batman replied. "Even the strongest hearts can be shaken when it comes to family." Naruko nodded. "Then we make sure the world stays steady enough that he doesn't have to face everything alone." Batman accepted her answer without further words. It was enough. As they parted ways, Naruko remained on the rooftop, the wind moving softly around her. In the distance, she sensed her quiet assistants observing the world and sharing what they learned, helping her understand this new universe better each day. Naruko looked out over Gotham City, her expression calm. A new world, she thought. Still filled with challenges, but also full of chances to protect, to understand, and to bring peace where it was needed most. Naruko looked at her creation with calm curiosity. "Hey, Black and White, have you got what I asked?" Naruko asked. White Zetsu nodded. "Yes, Naruko-sama." White Zetsu held out his hand, and a glowing set of green and gold crystalline stones appeared, smooth and polished, each about the size of a small ball. "Here it is, gold and green kryptonite, Naruko-sama," White Zetsu said. "Why did you want it?" Black Zetsu spoke from nearby. "Yes, Naruko-sama." "What is it for?" Naruko studied the crystals thoughtfully. "Just in case something powerful ever gets out of control, I want to be prepared. Not because I want trouble, but because I want peace." White Zetsu tilted his head. "You really don't fully trust everyone, do you?" Naruko shook her head gently. "It's not about distrust. It's about responsibility. I'd rather be ready and never need it." Black Zetsu gave a low, thoughtful hum. "As you wish." A soft portal opened, and Naruko stepped through, leaving the two Zetsu watching as it faded. "Naruko-sama thinks a lot," White Zetsu said quietly. "She just wants to protect the world in her own way," Black Zetsu replied. Dash. At Star Labs. In Metropolis, inside S.T.A.R. Labs, Batman stood examining a strange puzzle-like device left behind in a quiet, empty room. He didn't turn as a scientist spoke behind him. "Was anything else taken?" Batman asked. "Only minor equipment," the scientist replied. "Nothing dangerous. We didn't even contact Superman because it didn't seem urgent." Batman's eyes narrowed slightly. "You were experimenting with kryptonite." The scientist nodded quickly. "Only for research. Energy sources. Medical possibilities. We're scientists, not villains." Batman looked at the unusual setup in the room. Instead of danger, it appeared more like a confusing prank display, bright lights, harmless smoke effects, and looping recordings of laughter designed to mislead and distract. "It's not destruction," Batman said quietly. "It's misdirection." He thought for a moment. The Joker. Dash. A disturbing discovery. Suddenly, Superman arrived in a rush of wind. Superman looked shaken, not angry. I can't find her. I can't find Lois anywhere. Batman turned toward him. Lois Lane? Lois Lane had gone missing, and Superman's voice carried worry rather than strength. He took her, Superman said. The Joker. Batman didn't argue. Then we find her. Dash. The call for help. Batman activated his communicator. Naruko, he said firmly. Lois Lane is missing. We need help locating her. Dash. Naruko responds. Naruko stood still for a moment, her expression focused but calm. She looked to Black and White Zetsu. We have a situation, she said. White Zetsu nodded immediately. We'll search. Black Zetsu added, we'll cover every hidden place. Naruko raised her hand, forming a soft shimmer of energy that allowed her awareness to spread across the area like gentle waves of light. I don't know who did this yet, she said softly, but I'll help bring her home safely. Dash. The Justice League mobilizes. Batman contacted the rest of the team. Justice League members began responding quickly. Green Arrow spoke first. A missing person case? That's serious. Cyborg added, I'm ready to scan every network and system in the city. Wonder Woman responded with calm determination. I will search Metropolis myself. No one will be overlooked. The Flash replied, I'll check everywhere faster than anyone can imagine. Batman gave instructions. We look for clues. No assumptions. No panic. We work together. Dash. Naruko's discovery. Naruko and the Zetsu searched carefully through hidden routes and quiet waterways around Metropolis. Instead of danger, they found traces of playful interference, colorful markers, harmless traps, and confusing trails meant to lead people in circles. Naruko studied the patterns. This isn't meant to harm anyone, she said. It's meant to confuse. White Zetsu nodded. A game? More like a puzzle, Naruko replied. And I think I understand how it works. She focused gently, tracing the flow of the clues until they formed a direction. I found where the trail leads, Naruko said calmly. The Joker didn't go far. He's trying to stay hidden. But not forever. Dash. A hopeful turning point. Naruko contacted Batman. I've located a lead, she said. Lois Lane is safe, and she is being held in a place designed more like a trick maze than a prison. Batman paused. Good work. Naruko nodded slightly. We'll bring her back together? No harm, no fear. Superman, hearing this, felt relief wash over him. Thank you. Naruko simply replied, we're a team. And with that, the heroes moved forward, ready not for battle, but for a careful rescue built on teamwork, intelligence, and hope. With Batman and Flash. Justice League, one of my contacts has just told me they're in a submarine, said Batman. The Dark Knight sounded calm, but focused. His secure communication line, shared only with Naruko, had become one of the League's most reliable ways to pass quiet information. In the same moment, Flash leaned in. A submarine? That sounds like trouble. Or a very strange vacation. Batman didn't respond to the joke. Either way, we need to investigate carefully. Dash. With Wonder Woman. On the ocean's surface, Wonder Woman stood ready, guiding a man gently who was safely bound by her lasso of truth. Speak clearly, she said kindly. We only want to understand what is happening. Before the man could answer, Superman arrived overhead, scanning the waters with his vision. I see it, he said. There's a submarine below. He carefully lifted it from the sea and placed it on the shore. Batman, Flash, and Wonder Woman arrived as Superman opened the hatch. Inside, they found an unusual scene. Joker and Harley were inside wearing playful doctor and nurse costumes, not threatening anyone, but standing around what looked like a complex illusion projector. Lois Lane was nearby, peacefully resting under a harmless calming field created by the device. Superman stepped forward quickly. "Lois." Joker raised his hands immediately. "Easy, big guy. No harm done. Just a little theatrical demonstration." Harley nodded. "Yeah. It was supposed to be a puzzle challenge. Nobody was supposed to get hurt." Batman narrowed his eyes. "A puzzle challenge that involves deception and confusion is still dangerous." Dash. Suddenly, a large holographic figure activated inside the submarine, a towering Guardian program labeled Doomsday Test Simulation. It roared loudly, not real, but designed to test courage and teamwork. Flash blinked. "Okay, that is dramatic." Superman studied it carefully. "It's not real. It's an illusion." Batman adjusted his mask. "A fear-based simulation. Similar design to Scarecrow's tech, but non-lethal." Dash. Far away, Naruko was watching through her hidden sight technique, Bio no Kakusarita Saito Jutsu, her eyes glowing softly with focus. "Oh no. It's a full containment puzzle system," she said. Zetsu, standing beside her, tilted his head. "Should we intervene?" Naruko nodded immediately. "Yes, but carefully. No fighting. We're helping everyone get out safely." She formed a cross-shaped hand sign. Shadow clone technique. In a soft burst of energy, several clones of Naruko appeared, each moving swiftly but gently across the area, guiding any civilians and stabilizing the illusion system from spreading confusion. Dash. Back at the submarine, Batman turned to the others. "We need to shut down the core generator of this simulation." Flash nodded. "On it. Fastest route is my specialty." Wonder Woman smiled slightly. "Then we do this together." Superman carefully lifted the illusion core, ensuring nothing was damaged. "Let's end the program safely." Joker sighed dramatically. "Aw, and here I thought I was hosting Metropolis' most confusing escape room." Harley waved. "Hey, at least nobody got hurt." Batman responded dryly, "That is the only reason this is not a disaster." Dash. Moments later, the simulation powered down peacefully. The submarine lights returned to normal, and Lois Lane stirred awake safely, unharmed and calm. Naruko's clones finished their task and vanished one by one. Naruko herself smiled softly. "Mission complete." Zetsu nodded. "That went better than expected." Naruko turned her gaze toward the horizon, where the Justice League stood together once again, not as individuals, but as a team that had solved the mystery without harm. And above them all, peace returned to the sea. Naruko, a bright and kind-hearted ninja who always used she/her pronouns, arrived with the Justice League on a day that felt unusually tense in Metropolis. She could sense that something strange was affecting the heroes. Superman floated above the city, looking distressed, as if caught in a confusing dream. A soft, shimmering mist, created by a mischievous invention meant only for harmless illusions, had made it difficult for him to tell imagination from reality. "Superman, can you hear me?" Batman called calmly, staying close but careful not to frighten him. Superman frowned, struggling to understand what he was seeing. "You won't take them away from me," he said, his voice filled with worry about people he loved, though those fears were only illusions caused by the mist. Batman stepped forward gently. "Superman, please pause. What you're seeing isn't real. You're safe. We're here with you." Nearby, Naruko watched with concern. She focused her energy and used a calming technique she had learned in her journeys, a way of bringing peace to troubled hearts. Her voice was soft and steady as she spoke. "You are strong, and you are not alone," Naruko said kindly. "Let the confusion fade. You can trust your friends." Superman slowly closed his eyes and took a deep breath. The swirling thoughts around him began to settle, like waves calming after a storm. The mist lifted little by little, revealing the true world again. At that moment, a figure stepped forward from behind a corner, Joker, who this time looked more like a troublemaking prankster than anything truly dangerous. He gave an awkward grin. "Did you know it was all just a misunderstanding?" he said, scratching his head as if even he was realizing his trick had gone too far. Batman gave him a firm but calm look. "This kind of confusion isn't funny when it scares people." Joker's grin faded into an uncomfortable shrug. All right. Point taken." Superman finally steadied himself and looked around at his friends, Batman, Naruko, and the rest of the Justice League. Relief washed over him when he realized everyone was safe and together. Naruko smiled gently. Sometimes, even the strongest hearts need a moment of calm to see clearly again. And with that, the misunderstanding faded away, leaving behind only teamwork, friendship, and a reminder that honesty and kindness are the best ways to clear away confusion. Dear YouTube family, that's all for now. Thank you for being here and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe for more content. See you in the next one. Regards, Anime Dreams.